The Great Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with worried voices. Representatives from dozens of worlds sat in floating chairs that moved slowly around the massive chamber. At the center, holographic images showed burning planets and destroyed cities. The same terrible story played out again and again across the galaxy. Zara Kim adjusted her simple human clothing and watched the other delegates. The Thylorians looked like living crystals that changed color when they spoke. The Kazith resembled giant insects with multiple arms that clicked and moved as they talked. The Luminals were pure energy beings that glowed bright blue inside special containers. All of them looked scared. Elder Vex, the oldest Thylorian in the council, spoke first. His crystal body turned deep red as he shared the latest reports. 3 more worlds had fallen to the Vorthak in just the past week. Millions of people were dead or missing. The attacks followed the same pattern they had seen for thousands of years. The beasts came without warning, Vex said, his voice like breaking glass. They played with the population for days before feeding. Our evacuation ships could not reach everyone in time. The survivors say the creatures seemed to enjoy the fear. Zara had only been the human representative for 6 months. Earth was still new to galactic politics. Most species saw humans as interesting, but not very important. They were surprised that such a young race had developed space travel so quickly, but they did not think humans had much to offer the older, more advanced civilizations. The Kazith delegate, Speaker Threx, made rapid clicking sounds before speaking. The Vorthak have been the apex predators of known space since before my people learned to fly between stars. They are nearly impossible to kill. Energy weapons do nothing to them. Physical attacks heal in minutes. Their technology is beyond our understanding. What about the defense grid on Kepler Station? Asked a Luminal representative, the energy being pulsed brighter as it spoke. Surely we can evacuate the population before the pack arrives. Maybe, quote. Vex's color shifted to darker red. Our scouts confirm a Vorthak pack is moving toward Kepler. 3 adults, possibly more. The station has maybe 48 hours before they arrive. We are already preparing evacuation ships. Zara stood up slowly. The other delegates turned to look at her with curiosity. Humans were still so new that many had never worked with them directly. What if we tried something different? She asked. Her voice was calm and clear. Instead of running away every time, what if we studied their behavior and fought back? The chamber fell silent. Several delegates made sounds that might have been laughter in their species. Elder Vex's color changed to surprised yellow. Young human, Vex said gently. Your species does not understand. The Vorthak have ruled the space lanes for over 50,000 years. They are not just predators. They are the ultimate predators. Every advanced race in the galaxy has tried to fight them. None have succeeded. Speaker Threx clicked rapidly. My people keep records of every Vorthak encounter going back 20,000 years. They hunt in packs like wild animals, but they are intelligent. They use weapons and ships that can tear apart our strongest defenses. They heal from wounds that would kill any other creature, and they seem to hunt for pleasure, not just food. But they are still animals, Zara said quietly. Animals have patterns. They have behaviors we can study and predict. On Earth, my people learned to hunt creatures much larger and stronger than us. We use teamwork and planning instead of just bigger weapons. A Luminal representative pulsed bright white, which meant amusement. Respected human delegate, we appreciate your optimism, but these are not the large animals from your homeworld. The Vorthak are the apex predators of an entire galaxy. They have never been successfully hunted by anyone. Vex's color shifted to concerned orange. The standard response has kept our people alive for millennia. When Vorthak are detected, we evacuate all nearby systems and wait for them to move on. It is not heroic, but it works. Most of our people survive. Most, Zara repeated. But not all. And they keep coming back to hunt more. What if there was a way to stop them permanently? The delegates exchanged glances that seemed worried. These older races had dealt with the Vorthok for so long that running away seemed like the only reasonable choice. The idea of actually fighting back seemed impossible to them. The evacuation fleet will launch for Kepler Station in 18 hours, announced a Kazeth military advisor. All civilian populations will be moved to safe distance before the pack arrives. We estimate acceptable losses at less than 12%. 12%. Zara thought about what that meant. Thousands of people who would die because everyone accepted that the Vorthak could not be stopped. She thought about Earth's history, about how her ancestors had faced creatures that seemed impossible to defeat. Woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, giant bears. All of them had been bigger and stronger than humans. But humans had still found ways to hunt them. I need to send a message to Earth, Zara said. There might be another option. Elder Vex's color turned worried purple. Please do not encourage your people to do anything dangerous. The galaxy has lost too many heroes to Vorthak packs. Your species is too young to throw away lives on impossible missions. As the council session ended, Zara walked quickly to the Human Communication Center. The other delegates were already making plans for another evacuation, another retreat, another acceptance that some people would die because the Vorthok were just too powerful to fight. But humans had a different way of looking at predators. Where other species saw unstoppable monsters, humans saw animals with habits and weaknesses. Where others saw impossible odds, humans saw a hunting challenge. Zara began composing a message to Human Defense Command. She included all the data the Council had shared about Vorthak behavior and attack patterns. Most importantly, she included something the other species seemed to have forgotten. The idea that even apex predators could become prey if the right hunters went after them. The message sent, Zara looked out at the stars and wondered if her people would see what she saw. Not invincible monsters, but simply very dangerous animals that had never faced real hunters before. Commander Jin Park read Zara Kim's message 3 times before calling his senior staff to the briefing room. Luna Base was the primary headquarters for Human Defense Command. And right now, it was buzzing with activity. Word had already spread that a human diplomat was suggesting something the rest of the galaxy thought was impossible. She wants us to hunt the Vorthak, Jin said to the room full of officers. Not run from them, not hide from them, actually hunt them. Dr. Sarah Chen sat at the back of the room with her xenobiology team. She had been studying every piece of Vorthak footage the galactic databases contained. While other species focused on the creature's weapons and defenses, Sarah looked at their behavior patterns. I think the ambassador might be onto something, Sarah said, standing up. I've been analyzing attack footage for months. These creatures aren't as random as everyone thinks. Colonel Alex Torres, head of Special Operations, leaned forward. Explain. Sarah activated a holographic display that showed dozens of Vorthak attacks over the past century. The images were terrifying. Massive creatures, each one the size of a city block, moving through space without ships. Their dark skin seemed to absorb energy weapons. Their claws could tear through the strongest ship hulls. Their healing factor let them recover from wounds in minutes. Look at the patterns, Sarah said, highlighting different parts of each attack. They always approach from the same direction, relative to a system's sun. They always target the most populated areas first. They spend exactly 3 to 5 days hunting before moving on. They work in packs of 3 to 7 individuals. Sounds like animal behavior, said Captain Minsato, the fleet's best tactical officer. Predators from Earth follow similar patterns. Exactly, Sarah continued. And look at this. The display showed close-up footage of Vorthak during attacks. They play with their prey. They show off for each other. They establish dominance within their pack during hunts. These are classic apex predator behaviors. Colonel Torres studied the images carefully. You're saying they hunt like animals because they are animals? Very intelligent animals with advanced technology, Sarah corrected. But yes, they follow instinctual patterns because they've never needed to evolve beyond them. No one has ever successfully fought back, so they never learn to adapt their hunting strategies. Jin pulled up star charts showing current Vorthak movements. 3 packs are heading toward human space right now. If we're going to test this theory, we need to move fast. What exactly are you proposing? Asked Captain Sato. Sarah changed the display to show Earth's evolutionary history. Images of early humans hunting massive creatures filled the room. Our ancestors faced apex predators all the time. Saber-toothed cats, cave bears, woolly mammoths, creatures that were bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than humans. And they won by working together, Torres said, understanding. Pack hunting. More than that, Sarah explained. They won by being persistence hunters. They didn't try to overpower their prey. They exhausted it. They used tools and teamwork to bring down creatures that should have been able to kill them easily. Jin looked around the room at his staff. These were some of the best military minds humanity had produced. They were used to thinking creatively about seemingly impossible problems. The Vorthak pack heading for Kepler Station, Jin said. How long before they arrive? 36 hours, reported the communications officer. That's not enough time to mount a full operation, Torres said. But it might be enough for a reconnaissance mission. If Dr. Chen is right about their behavior patterns, we could use a small team to gather real-time data. Captain Sato brought up tactical displays. I could take a small squadron. Fast ships, minimal crew. We observe their hunting behavior up close and see if the patterns hold. Too dangerous, Jin said immediately. Not if we think like hunters instead of soldiers, Sarah interjected. Hunters study their prey before attacking. They learn the animal's habits. They find its weaknesses. She pulled up more footage from Earth's history. Our ancestors didn't fight mammoths head-on. They studied them. They learned that mammoths had poor eyesight but excellent hearing. They learned that mammoths were protective of their young. They used that knowledge to separate individuals from the herd and wear them down. You think the Vorthak have similar weaknesses? Torres asked. I think every animal has weaknesses, Sarah said. The problem is that no one has ever looked for theirs. Every galactic species just runs away or tries to outgun them. No one has tried to actually hunt them. Jin made his decision. Dr. Chen, I want a complete behavioral analysis ready in 12 hours. Captain Sato, prepare a reconnaissance squadron. Colonel Torres, start planning for a larger operation in case the reconnaissance shows promising results. Sir, said Captain Sato. What do we tell the Galactic Council? Nothing yet, Jin replied. If we're wrong, a lot of people are going to die. If we're right. He paused, looking at the images of the Vorthak on the display. If we're right, the galaxy is about to learn that humans don't just run from apex predators. We hunt them. As the meeting broke up, Sarah stayed behind to continue her analysis. She had access to more Vorthak footage than any human had ever seen. Most of it was terrifying. But she was starting to see patterns that gave her hope. The Vorthak were indeed apex predators. But they were apex predators that had never faced a coordinated pack of human hunters. They had never encountered a species that specialized in bringing down creatures much larger and more dangerous than themselves. On her screen, a massive Vorthak tore through the defenses of a Thylorian colony. The creature moved with confidence and power. It showed no fear, no caution, no awareness that it might ever become prey instead of predator. That overconfidence, Sarah realized, might be their greatest weakness. The Vorthak had been apex predators for so long that they had forgotten how dangerous it could be to hunt thinking prey that could fight back. Her analysis was interrupted by an urgent communication from the observation post at Kepler Station. The Vorthak pack was arriving ahead of schedule. 3 massive creatures had just entered the system and were moving toward the populated areas. The evacuation was still in progress. Thousands of people were still on the station. And now, for the first time in galactic history, a small team of humans was preparing to study the apex predators up close instead of running away. Sarah looked at her data one more time. Everything depended on whether her theories about animal behavior would hold true for creatures that had terrorized the galaxy for thousands of years. In a few hours, they would find out if humans could really hunt the galaxy's ultimate predators. Captain Min Sato watched through her ship's sensors as the three Vorthak entered Kepler Station's space. Even from a safe distance, the creatures were terrifying. Each one was over a kilometer long, covered in dark, armor-like skin that seemed to absorb light. They moved through space without any visible propulsion, their massive forms gliding between the station's defensive platforms. "They're ignoring the weapons completely," reported her tactical officer. "The station's energy cannons are firing direct hits, but the Vorthak aren't even slowing down." "Just like the reports said," Min replied. She was commanding a small squadron of fast human ships hidden behind a large asteroid field. Her mission was simple: observe and gather data. Do not engage. Do not interfere. Just watch and learn. Dr. Chen's voice came through the communication link from Luna Base. "Are you getting clean readings on their behavior patterns?" "Clear as day," Min responded. "They're doing exactly what you predicted, moving in a loose triangle formation. The largest one is taking point. The other two are following about 500 kilometers behind." On the station, the evacuation was still in progress. Most civilians had already left, but a small research team had volunteered to stay hidden and gather close-range data. They were monitoring Vorthak behavior from concealed positions throughout the station. The lead Vorthak approached the first civilian sector. Instead of immediately attacking, it seemed to examine the area. It moved slowly around the outer structures, almost like it was playing with its food. "Classic apex predator behavior," Sarah's voice confirmed from Luna Base. "They're not hunting for survival. They're hunting for entertainment." Min watched as the creature extended what looked like massive claws and carefully tore open a section of the station. The Vorthak seemed to be looking for signs of life inside. When it found empty corridors, it made a sound that her instruments barely picked up. "Did you hear that?" she asked her crew. "Barely," her communications officer replied. "They want their prey to be afraid," Sarah explained. "They're not getting the fear response they expect from an empty station. This is perfect data. They're showing us exactly how they think." The second Vorthak joined the leader and began tearing into a different section of the station. But their movements seemed less focused now. They were clearly expecting panicking civilians and weren't finding them. "The third one isn't participating," Min observed. "It's just hanging back and watching." "Pack hierarchy," Sarah said immediately. "The dominant pair hunts, while the subordinate watches and learns, just like wolves or lions on Earth." Min's tactical officer suddenly looked up from his console. "Captain, I'm detecting movement from the research team on the station. Dr. Chen, you need to hear this." The voice of Dr. Marcus Webb came through the communication system. He was leading the human research team hidden on Kepler Station. "Sarah, you were absolutely right. These creatures are following predictable patterns. They've been hunting the same way for so long they can't adapt to different situations." "What do you mean?" Sarah asked. "They expect their prey to run in panic," Marcus explained. "When they don't find that, they don't know what to do. They're starting to get frustrated. I can see it in their body language. The lead creature keeps looking around like it's confused." Min checked her chronometer. "They've been here for 2 hours. According to the historical data, they should be feeding by now. But there's no one to feed on," Sarah said, understanding. "They're apex predators that have never encountered an empty hunting ground. Their instincts are telling them to hunt, but there's no prey showing the expected behavior." On her screens, Min watched as the frustrated Vorthak began damaging the station more aggressively. but their movements were becoming erratic. They were no longer following the careful, methodical patterns that had made them so effective for thousands of years. Now, Sarah said suddenly, if my theories are right, this is when we test them. Test them how? Min asked. Give them prey that behaves differently than they expect, Sarah explained. Dr. Chen, to all human vessels. Initiate Contact Protocol 7. Min felt her heart race. Contact Protocol 7 meant deliberate engagement with hostile forces. Sarah, are you sure about this? We need to see how they react to prey that fights back intelligently. Sarah responded. But don't try to hurt them yet. Just get their attention and make them chase you. Min looked at her crew. They were some of the best pilots in human space, flying the fastest ships humanity had built. If anyone could make this work, it was them. All ships, follow my lead, Min ordered. We're going to do something the galaxy has never tried. We're going to make apex predators chase us. Her ship emerged from behind the asteroid field, along with 3 others. They moved in formation toward the Vorthok, but kept their weapons powered down. This wasn't an attack. It was an invitation to hunt. The reaction was immediate. All 3 Vorthaks stopped their methodical destruction of the station and turned toward the human ships. Even at this distance, Min could feel their attention lock onto her squadron. They're interested, her tactical officer reported. All 3 are moving toward us now. Speed? Min asked. Fast, but not their maximum. They're acting like they're hurting us. Min smiled grimly. Perfect. They think we're prey trying to escape. Let's see how long they'll chase us. She ordered her ships to retreat slowly, staying just ahead of the Vorthak. The creatures followed eagerly, finally getting the fear response they had been expecting. From their perspective, the humans were doing exactly what prey was supposed to do. Run away in terror. But Min wasn't running in terror. She was leading the apex predators away from the station, away from any remaining civilians, and into open space where her ships had room to maneuver. Sarah, they're following us exactly like you predicted, Min reported. They're not trying to catch us quickly. They're enjoying the chase. How long can you keep this up? Sarah asked. Hours, Min replied. Our ships are faster and more maneuverable than they are. As long as they think we're scared prey, we can lead them wherever we want. For the first time in galactic history, Vorthak were being led around by their supposed prey. The apex predators were following human ships deeper into empty space, further from any populated areas. They have no idea they're being herded, Dr. Webb observed from his hidden position on Kepler Station. The creatures that have terrorized the galaxy for thousands of years are being controlled by a handful of human ships. Min checked her fuel levels. Her ships could maintain this chase for another 6 hours before needing to refuel. That should be enough time for the next phase of Dr. Chen's plan. Sarah, she said, I think you were right. They really are just very dangerous animals. And now we know how they think. Good, Sarah replied. Because now we're going to find out how they react when the animals they're hunting suddenly start hunting them back. The 3 Vorthak continued following the human ships into deep space, completely unaware that they were being led into humanity's first organized hunt of galactic apex predators. The emergency session of the Galactic Council was unlike anything in recorded history. Ambassador Zara Kim stood in the center of the chamber while holographic displays showed impossible images. Human ships were actively engaging Vorthak packs across multiple star systems. Not running from them, not hiding from them, hunting them. This is madness. Elder Vex's crystal body flashed bright red with anger. Your species has doomed the entire galaxy. The Vorthak will retaliate against all of us. Zara remained calm, as the other delegates shouted in various languages. Respected Elder, we have been monitoring Vorthak behavior for 72 hours now. They are not retaliating. They are responding exactly as Dr. Chen predicted they would. On the displays, the impossible continued to unfold. The pack that had attacked Kepler Station was now scattered across 3 different systems. Human ships had split them up using coordinated maneuvers that resembled ancient Earth hunting tactics. Speaker Threx's clicking sounds were rapid and agitated. You cannot hunt creatures that have been apex predators for 50,000 years. It is like insects trying to hunt eagles. Actually, Zara said, bringing up new data. It's more like wolves hunting mammoths. Individually impossible. As a coordinated pack, completely achievable. The display changed to show real-time footage from the human fleet operations. Captain Sato's squadron had successfully separated one Vorthak from its pack and was now conducting what could only be described as a persistence hunt. Dozens of small, fast human ships took turns engaging the creature, never giving it time to rest or recover. They're wearing it down, Zara explained. Just like Earth predators exhaust prey that's larger and stronger than they are. The Vorthak have incredible healing abilities, but healing requires energy. If you don't give them time to recover, those abilities become useless. A luminol representative pulsed bright white with disbelief. But they have been invincible for millennia. They've been unchallenged for millennia, Zara corrected. There's a difference. Dr. Chen's analysis shows that they're actually juveniles of their species. They hunt on instinct, not intelligence. That makes them predictable. Colonel Torres's voice came through the communication system from his flagship. Galactic Council. This is Human Defense Command. We have successfully terminated 3 Vorthak in the past 48 hours. Repeat. 3 confirmed kills. The chamber fell completely silent. No one had ever killed a single Vorthak before. The idea of killing 3 was beyond imagination. Elder Vex's color shifted to shocked yellow. This is impossible. Our records show that Vorthak have never been successfully hunted by anyone. Your records show that no one ever tried to actually hunt them, Zara replied. Every species in the galaxy developed the same response. Run away and wait for them to leave. But humans evolved as persistence hunters. We specialized in taking down megafauna. New footage appeared showing the moment when the first Vorthak fell. The creature had been fighting human ships for over 18 hours. It was exhausted. Its healing factor depleted. Its movements sluggish. When the coordinated attack finally came, the apex predator that had terrorized civilizations for thousands of years died like any other hunted animal. How? Speaker Threx clicked frantically. How did you find their weakness? Dr. Chen's voice joined the communication from Luna Base. They didn't have a weakness. We created one. Apex predators become vulnerable when they're separated from their pack, exhausted, and facing coordinated hunters. It's basic evolutionary biology. The tactical display updated to show the current situation across human space. Instead of the expected disaster, it showed systematic success. Human fleets had identified 13 different Vorthak packs in the region and were actively hunting all of them using coordinated strategies. This changes everything. A Kazeth military advisor said quietly. If the Vorthak can be hunted, they can all be hunted, Zara confirmed. Dr. Chen estimates there are fewer than 200 Vorthak in the entire galaxy. For a species that supposedly ruled space for 50,000 years, that's a remarkably small population. Because they're not an ancient ruling species, Sarah's voice explained through the communication link. They're juveniles that left their homeworld and started hunting because no one ever fought back. They never learned advanced tactics because they never needed to. The display showed detailed analysis of Vorthak behavior patterns. Every attack over the past 1,000 years followed nearly identical patterns. The creatures had never adapted or evolved their hunting strategies because no prey had ever forced them to. They hunt like animals because they are animals, Sarah continued. Very dangerous, very intelligent animals with advanced technology. Elder Vex's color shifted to concerned orange. What happens when word spreads? When other Vorthak packs learn that their kind are being hunted. They'll do what any pack predator does when members of their species are killed, Zara said. They'll seek revenge. But they'll seek it using the same instinctual patterns they've always used. Colonel Torres's voice returned. Which means we can predict where they'll go and how they'll attack. Every Vorthak that comes looking for revenge just makes it easier for us to find and hunt them. The implications were staggering. For thousands of years, galactic civilization had lived in terror of creatures that were apparently just very dangerous animals. Animals that could be studied, predicted, and hunted using techniques humans had developed millions of years ago on Earth. Respected delegates, Zara said formally, humanity offers to share all of our hunting data with the Galactic Council. With coordination between our fleets, we estimate we can eliminate the Vorthak threat completely within 1 standard year. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some delegates were excited by the possibility of ending the Vorthak terror forever. Others were terrified by the implications of what humans had accomplished. If they could hunt apex predators this efficiently, what else might they be capable of? Speaker Threx clicked slowly, thoughtfully. You are saying that the creatures we have feared for 50,000 years can simply be hunted to extinction? 1. Yes, Zara replied simply. They're apex predators, but they're still just animals. And humans have been hunting dangerous animals since before we learned to make fire. Elder Vex's color shifted to deep purple, which indicated careful consideration. If this is true, if the Vorthak can truly be eliminated, the galaxy will owe humanity a debt that can never be repaid. We don't want payment, Zara said. We just want to live in a galaxy where no one has to run and hide from creatures that hunt for sport. The tactical displays updated again, showing 2 more Vorthak packs being systematically hunted by human fleets. The apex predators were trying to fight back, but their individual strength meant nothing against coordinated pack hunters who refused to engage them directly. For the first time in galactic history, the Vorthak were learning what it felt like to be prey. 6 months after the first Vorthak hunt, the galaxy had become a very different place. Ambassador Zara Kim stood before the Galactic Council for what would likely be the last emergency session about the creatures that had terrorized space for millennia. Final confirmed kill was logged yesterday at 14:30 Galactic Standard Time, she announced to the assembled delegates. After a coordinated hunt lasting 6 hours, human and allied forces eliminated the last known Vorthak pack near the galactic core. The chamber was quiet. Not the terrified quiet that had marked previous sessions, but the thoughtful quiet of beings trying to understand a completely new reality. Elder Vex's crystal body showed a steady blue color that indicated wonder. In 6 months, humanity has accomplished what we thought was impossible for 50,000 years. The Vorthak are extinct? All juveniles in known space have been eliminated, Dr. Chen confirmed from Luna Base. Our xenobiological analysis suggests there may be adult Vorthak somewhere in deep space, but the hunting juveniles that terrorized populated systems are gone. Captain Sato, now promoted to Admiral, after leading the most successful hunting campaigns in galactic history, appeared via hologram. The last pack tried to flee when they realized they were being hunted. We tracked them for 3 weeks before cornering them in an asteroid field. They fought hard, but they still fought like animals, not like intelligent tacticians. Speaker Threx's clicking had become much calmer over the months. The Kazeth delegate had initially been one of the most skeptical about humanity's hunting strategy. How many total kills? 187 confirmed eliminations, Zara reported. Organized in 43 separate packs. Dr. Chen's population estimate was remarkably accurate. The numbers were staggering. But so was the method. Humans had systematically hunted apex predators across the galaxy, using strategies that were millions of years old on Earth. Pack coordination, persistence hunting, and the patient wearing down of stronger prey. The other species have been asking questions, said a Luminol representative, about how humans became so effective at hunting dangerous creatures. Dr. Chen's voice carried a note of gentle amusement. We explained that Earth was a very dangerous planet. Humans evolved alongside apex predators, much more dangerous than ourselves. We learned to survive by hunting in coordinated groups. But the Vorthak had technology, Elder Vex pointed out. Weapons and defenses beyond most galactic species. Technology operated by animal instincts, Admiral Sato replied. They never learned advanced tactics because they never needed to. Their technology made them powerful, but it didn't make them smart hunters. The display screens showed the final analysis of Vorthak behavior patterns. Over 6 months of active hunting, the creatures had never significantly adapted their strategies. They continued to follow the same instinctual patterns that had made them successful when no one fought back. What we learned, Zara said, is that being an apex predator for too long can be a weakness. The Vorthak became overconfident. They never learned to be cautious because they had never encountered real resistance. A young Thylorian delegate, one who had joined the council only recently, asked the question many were thinking. What does this mean for humanity's role in galactic affairs? The chamber grew very quiet. This was the question that had worried many species over the past months. If humans could eliminate the galaxy's most feared predators so efficiently, what did that say about their potential as a galactic power? It means, Zara said carefully, that humans bring a different perspective to galactic problems. Where others saw invincible monsters, we saw animals with patterns that could be studied and exploited. But you eliminated an entire species, Speaker Threx clicked slowly. In 6 months, you hunted creatures to extinction that had survived for thousands of years. We eliminated creatures that were hunting other sapient beings for sport, Admiral Sato corrected firmly. The Vorthak weren't just surviving. They were terrorizing populated worlds for entertainment. That made them a threat that needed to be stopped. Dr. Chen added important context. Our analysis suggests the Vorthak juveniles were never meant to be apex predators anyway. They were likely adolescents who left their homeworld before reaching maturity. True adult Vorthak would probably have been much more intelligent and less aggressive. So you saved the galaxy from teenagers with weapons of mass destruction, Elder Vex observed. His color shifted to what might have been amusement. Essentially, yes, Zara confirmed. Very dangerous. Very powerful teenagers who had never been told no by anyone. The implications were still settling in across galactic civilization. Trade routes that had been abandoned for centuries were being reopened. Worlds that had lived in constant fear were beginning to develop normally. The entire structure of galactic society was changing because the apex predator threat was gone. There is another question, said the Luminol representative. What happens if other threats emerge? Threats that require the same kind of systematic response? Zara looked around the chamber at delegates who represented dozens of species. Some looked grateful. Others looked thoughtful. A few looked worried about what humanity might be capable of if they decided to hunt something other than universally hated predators. Humans don't hunt for sport, she said clearly. We hunt threats to our people and our allies. The Vorthak made themselves threats by hunting sapient beings for entertainment. If other creatures make the same choice. She left the sentence unfinished. The message was clear. Humanity had proven they could systematically eliminate apex predators that others considered invincible. They had done it to save innocent lives. But the galaxy now knew that humans were very, very good at hunting anything they decided needed to be hunted. Elder Vex's color shifted to respectful green. The galaxy owes humanity a debt that cannot be repaid. You have given us something we had not known for 50,000 years. True safety from predators. No debt is owed, Zara replied. We did what any civilized species would do. When faced with creatures that hunt people for fun, we stopped them. We, Shard. As the session ended and delegates began filing out, many were still trying to process what they had witnessed. The galaxy's apex predators were gone, eliminated not by superior technology or overwhelming force, but by humans who approached them like any other hunting challenge. The Vorthok had ruled through fear for millennia. But fear only worked when your prey couldn't fight back effectively. Once humans started hunting them, the apex predators learned what every other dangerous animal eventually learns. There's always something higher up the food chain. In this case, it was patient, coordinated, persistence hunters who had learned millions of years ago that even the largest and most dangerous prey could be brought down by the right pack using the right tactics. The galaxy was safe from the Vorthak, and everyone now understood that humans didn't just survive by running from apex predators. They survived by becoming better predators than anything that tried to hunt them.